That's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randirhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fall. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
Contraction in the American economy of 3.5%. It shows you we are far below pandemic levels and a real hole trying to dig out of for the economy heading into this new year. We also saw those weekly jobless claims as we see every Thursday morning, Allison, and those were tough again. 847,000 first-time filings for unemployment benefits. Oh. By my count, this is 45 weeks in a row, Allison, that God. Any one of those weeks would have been an all-time record. But we again and again have record-breaking layoffs every single week, and that has not abated.
Oh, for God's sake.
Hey, everybody, let's do nothing. Happy Monday. Hope you're enjoying the snow if you're in the Northeast. Hope you're drying out if you're in the West. Here in Florida, we think it's cold. We think it's chilly. It's what, 72? 70? Something like that. We think it's freezing. So, take it with a grain of salt what we think. No, that's just weather. Listen, here's the thing. The Republicans have a plan. Yes, I said that because it's an oxymoron. The fact that the Republicans and plan are in the same exact sentence makes it an oxymoron. Do you want to read the Republican plan? Just look at the smirk on Mitch McConnell's face. Just look at the smirk on Rob Portman's face. Just look at the smirk on any Republican who's talking today about, we actually do have a plan to rescue the economy and to tend to this global pandemic that's mutating. It's mutating, everybody, just like the Republican Party. It has mutated. But there is a plan, the Republican plan, and it's to offer a phony plan. Is what it is. They want to do what they always do, delay and dilute, and then don't even vote for it. If we're going to talk about unity, how about unity between the Democrats and the American people? I'll take that unity. I will take that as a unifying direction to move along in. Wouldn't you? Because the Republicans are they're just going to dig their heels in, and they're just going to save all the money for the next tax cut to the wealthy. So here is what happened over the weekend. Okay, the Republicans decided, well, we need to make a counter offer to Biden's $1.9 trillion relief package to help the American people get through what has been just abject neglect on the part of the previous administration, if you want to call it an administration. It was really a man, is what we had. We had one guy who was deciding everything for everybody, and his decisions sucked. And so millions of Americans got infected, cities shut down, rural towns that thought, well, we're rural, we don't see very many people, it won't affect, got affected. Okay, so now we have this massive pandemic and a need for testing that we never, ever got, ever. A need for a cure, the vaccines, a need for distribution of the vaccines, and a need for economic help, rental assistance, eviction forbearance, increased child tax credits, help schools reopen by giving them the money to, create smaller class pods, smaller, right? Instead of 30 in a class, make it 10. They need more room. They need more space. They need to create those things that cost money. They need to retrofit their ventilation systems. That costs money. Hundreds of billions of dollars for cities and states. Well, what does that fund? That funds the police, everybody. So guess who's trying to defund the police and the paramedics and the school teachers and, every transportation and sanitation. I mean, they won't be happy till we have the bubonic plague and cholera. $160 billion for a national vaccination plan, more testing, public health jobs, an expansion of that. And of course, unemployment, an increase in the unemployment insurance, right? They want to, the Democrats' plan has an initial check of $1,400. That's in addition to the December check of $600, so that it brings the total of direct relief to $2,000. And they also want to increase the amount of enhanced unemployment benefits, which are now $300 and expire in March. It's February, everybody. Happy February. Can you smell the love in the air? I hope that's love. I hope that's Valentine's that I'm smelling and not, But okay, so they want to increase the amount of enhanced unemployment dollars to $400, and they want to extend that payment until September. The Republicans, on the other hand, leave it at $300 and end it in June. I don't know. We want to do $1,400. The Republicans want to do $1,000. They created this gaping, oozy, pussy gravy sore of a wound. So what is $1,000 for? Salt. Yes, it's salt to pour in your wound, everybody. Good luck with that. So that is their plan, okay? It does not include the rental assistance, the eviction forbearance. It also doesn't include $15 an hour minimum wage, so that when people do go back to work, they can work 40 hours and not be, starving. It has money for WIC. It has money for food stamps. It has money for all kinds of things that help ordinary Americans get through this. The Republicans, not so much. So they got 10 Republicans, which is the bare minimum you would need of Republicans to vote with the Democrats, right? 50 Democrats plus Kamala, so that would be 51, and 10 Republicans would get it over. It would get it to 60. It would actually get it to 61. Actually, it would get it to 60, and Kamala wouldn't have to break a tie, right? So it would still end up at 60. And McConnell sends over like a Susan Collins to make it look like, but we're moderates, and this is moderation. We can't give America a whole lot of money. We can't give it to them. What? 70% of Americans want and need this money. This is everywhere. This is in any poll. This is in every survey of every American household. 70% say they need the money. They need the money now. And that time is of the essence, that this is an urgent need. Okay? So over the weekend, they put out their non-planned plan. And now Biden is meeting with these 10 GOP senators about their non-planned plan for pandemic relief. We can only hope that Biden is telling them, we know what you're up to. We went through this with you on the ACA. We went through this with you on immigration. We went through this with you on the stimulus package in 2009 after you people crashed the economy last time. I can only hope that's because that's what they did in 2009 with endless talks about health care reform that were only meant to derail health care reform. Well, if you keep a public option out of it, we'll vote for it. All right. We'll keep the public option out of it. They didn't vote for it. If Republicans are talking to you, it's just to distract you while they vandalize and upend your project, whatever it is you're trying to do. So basically, the plan from the Republicans is less than 1/3 of the size of the plan the Democrats say the American people need in order to weather this pandemic. So basically, if you want to say it's they want to cut 2/3 of it out. 2/3. Because the Republicans always have too small of a package. Oh, ask the women. We don't vote for them anymore. The man just ain't big enough. Right, Don Henley? Oh, yes. I was in my hot tub this weekend. And by the way, it's, I'm taunting you because you're having a snowstorm. Oh, it was dreamy. I have to tell you, it was dreamy. And not only did Howard have the hot tub repaired, because it was broken, but put in like almost disco lights. Okay, it's retro. I am loving it. I am freaking loving it. I sat there till I pruned, listening to Don Henley music over and over and over and over. The man just ain't big enough. It's a small, small package. That's why women won't vote for you. Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.